Hi friends, in the last session we discussed that what is reference variable and what is self variable, right? As part of in the last session we discussed as part of these two concepts, right? So just to let me remind the previous session and next to go for today's session. Okay, normally within the Python class we can represent data by using three variables. Okay, those are three instances, static variables and local variable. And within the Python class we can represent operations by using methods. Okay, those are three: instance method, class method and static method, right? Next, what is reference variable means the variable which can be used to refer an object is called a reference variable. Okay, the variable which can be used to refer object is called a reference variable. Next, what is self variable means self is a default variable which is always pointing to the current object, like this keyword in Java. Okay. Okay. Next, by using self we can access instance variable and instance methods of an object. And instead of self we can take any valid keywords, need not be digit and special character. Okay, instead of self we can take any valid keywords, need not be digit and special keywords. Okay, next, inside constructor instance method is first argument and should be self mandatory. Okay, instead of self you can take anything, but first argument should be a implicit variable. Okay, first argument should be a implicit variable. So this is the simple example and this is the syntax. Okay, so let me explain for today's session. Now today concept is nothing but what is constructor. Okay, what is constructor? What is constructor? What is a constructor? So normally constructor in Python is different. Okay, when you observe in C++ and Java, there is also constructor concept is there. But when compared to both languages in Python, Python constructor is completely different. Okay, Python constructor is different. Okay, somewhat I mean theory wise somewhat same, but practical wise somewhat different when compared to C++ and Java. Okay, so in Python, constructor is a special method. Okay, constructor is a special method. Okay, special method in Python. Constructor is a special method in Python. Okay, the name of the constructor. Okay, the name of the constructor is, okay, the name of the constructor is the name of the constructor should be declared as underscore underscore init underscore underscore. Okay, next. Okay, next point, first point, next second point. Constructor will be executed automatically at the time of object creation. Okay, constructor will be executed. Okay, constructor will be executed at the time of, okay, constructor will be executed at the time of object creation. Object creation automatically. Okay, constructor will be executed at the time of object creation automatically. Okay, next. The main purpose, okay, the main purpose of constructor is to, the main purpose of constructor is to declare and initialize. Okay, initialize instance variables. Okay, the main purpose of constructor is to declare and initialize instance variables. Okay, initialize instance variables. Next, per object constructor block will be executed only once. Okay, per object constructor block will be executed. Okay, will be executed only once. Okay, only once. Per object constructor block will be executed only once. Next, constructor. Okay, constructor can take at least one argument. A constructor can take at least one argument. A constructor can take at least one argument. Should be self. Okay, should be self. Okay, last point. Constructor is optional. Okay, constructor is optional. Constructor is optional, and and if we are not providing, okay, if you are not providing any constructor, and if you are not providing any constructor, pvm, okay, provide pvm means pvm will provide default constructor, provide default constructor. Okay, pvm will provide a default constructor. Constructor is optional, and if you are not providing any constructor, in premium will provide a default constructor. Clear? So this is nothing but what is constructor? This is nothing but constructor. Next example. See, observe here. I'm writing the program, but make sure clear. Okay, make sure observe carefully and listen carefully. So in front of you, I'm writing the same program one more time. So this is with respect to constructor only. Let me write the same program one more time. So what I'm saying, class student. Okay, class student. Next, what I told the first point, constructor is a special method in Python. The name of the constructor should be declared as underscore underscore init underscore underscore. Okay, so def underscore underscore init underscore underscore, and the next self. Constructor block will be executed at the time of object creation. So just the second point is completed, and the next point, constructor can take at least one argument, should be self. Okay, constructor can take at least one argument, that should be self. Okay, I have taken self. First argument I have taken self. Okay, now observe what I am writing here. Print constructor execution. Constructor execution. Constructor execution. Next, def. I'm taking one method. Okay, so let me not required method. Just observe only constructor. I've taken class and inside a constructor and writing one statement. Okay, now observe. I'm creating object. So how can we create object? How can we create object? In the previous session I've explained, S is equal to reference variable is equal to class name. What is our class name? Student. Okay, student. Okay, now observe here. Now observe here, this is a small program to demonstrate a constructor. So this is small program to demonstrate a constructor. Constructor will be executed at the time of object creation automatically. Okay, constructor block will be executed at the time of object creation automatically. So if you observe here, constructor block will be executed at the time of object creation. So what I'm doing here, object creation. The moment object creation, constructor block is executed. The moment object creation, okay, constructor block will be executed at the time of object creation automatically. The moment when I'm executing, it is executed. Okay, next point. The main purpose of constructor is to declare and initialize instance variable. Just remember this point. As of now, I wrote only execution of constructor. I will write the instance variable inside constructor also, just for wait a moment. Next, per object, the constructor block will be executed only once. Okay, observe this point. Per object, the constructor block will be executed only once. So now what I am doing, I am writing this statement. How many times I wrote? 5 times. Observe here how many times I wrote? 5 times I wrote. So when I wrote the constructor 5 times, now if I execute, okay, if I execute the same code, constructor block will be executed 5 times. Okay, constructor block will be executed 5 times because of this theory. Per object, the constructor block will be executed only once. Okay, how many times I am creating the object? 5 times. So 5 times constructor block will be executed. Now observe how many times you are seeing the output. Now how many times you are seeing the output? 5 times, right? So this is nothing but what? A constructor execution. Next, this point is completed. Next, constructor can take at least one argument should be self. Okay, constructor can take at least one argument should be self. So I'm removing parameter. So he's saying constructor can take at least one argument should be self. So if I won't take self, what happens? If I won't take, what happens? So what is the need of taking self? Observe here. If I don't take self as a implicit variable as the first argument to the constructor, if I am not taking, what happens? Observe carefully. Type error student dot underscore underscore init and take zero positional argument but one was given. Okay, takes zero positional arguments but one was given. So it is expecting one argument but zero was given. So it is going to match with the internal PVM code where it is defined. Okay, internally it is going to match with this constructor. Okay, this is expecting one argument but this fellow has given only zero. So that's why this is giving error as a takes zero positional argument but one was given. Clear? This is the point I want to convey. And one more thing. So here I'm taking self. So why we have to take self? I will take my name. I will write my name. So what happens? Okay, instead of self I'm taking my name. Okay. Observe here Python tested.py. Executing or not? Executing or not? Okay, if you want, I will write my name here also. Constructor execution Sai implicit variable. Now observe. I'm running the program one more time. Constructor execution Sai implicit variable. Okay, but make sure constructor can take at least one argument that should be self. Instead of self, you can take any valid keyword argument. Okay, you can take any valid keyword argument, right? Need not be a self. You can take any other. Need not be special characters, right? So this is nothing but what? A constructor. Okay, this is nothing but what? A constructor. Output. Next. Next time I want to explain example program to demonstrate on constructor with the instance variables. The instance method, instance variable and a instance method. Okay, anyway, I have already taken student. Okay, already constructor is there. Here what I am taking means a instance variable. So here psi dot x is equal to x. Okay, psi dot x is equal to x. Okay, otherwise I am taking my name. Psi dot name is equal to x. Psi dot roll number is equal to y. Psi dot marks, psi dot marks is equal to z. Psi dot marks is equal to z. Psi dot marks is equal to z. So a class, a constructor. Okay, a class, a constructor with this one argument as a implicit variable. Okay, one argument as a implicit variable. Next, the way of declaring this code is nothing but instance variables. The way of declaring this is nothing but a instance variable. This is called implicit variable with the name is equal to x. So constructor is getting three arguments x comma y comma z. These we are getting at the time of object creation. Okay, these are we are getting at the time of object creation. Forget about this one because it is a implicit variable. Only this we are getting at the time of object creation. Next I'm taking one more thing. Def talk. Okay, def okay display. Okay, def display. So one more point, whenever constructor taking one argument as a self, make sure instance method also will take one argument. Okay, instance method also will take one argument as a implicit. Okay, here you are taking implicit variable psi. Okay, here if you want to take, you can take self also. Okay, if you want you can take self also. There is no any restriction. Okay, there is no any restriction. Student name self dot name, student roll number, no, roll number, no. Now observe here, this is one instance method. Okay, I will explain instance method also in future clearly, but just as of now I am demonstrating with program with the constructor. Okay, so you got the clarity on constructor. So here what I am doing means instance method, whatever the variables are declared in the instance variable, that I am displaying in the instance method. Okay, that I am displaying in the instance method. Now observe here, s is equal to student of, okay, student of, what I am doing means sai comma roll number means 101 and the marks are 100. Roll number and the marks. So if I execute this code, okay, if I execute this code, anyway, first this block will be executed. So why only constructor block will be executed means the moment object is created, constructor block will be executed for the initialization of instance variables. Observe carefully one more time. The moment when this line executed by the PVM, okay, the moment when this line executed by the PVM, Python virtual machine, constructor block will be executed for the initialization of instance variable. These are called what? Instance variables. Instance variable under the constructor we are declaring. Now observe here, only constructor block will be executed, but if you want to feel, I will write the constructor block executed for initialization of instance variables. Of instance variable. So observe here, only constructor block you will feel the difference. Okay, constructor block you will feel the difference. Constructor executed for initialization for instance variables, right? Constructor block will be executed for the initialization of instance variable. So here what you are observing here is, but if I write the same thing one more time, so one more time will be executed. So now I want to display this information what I am sending here. Okay, the information which I am sending here, I want to display on the console. S dot display. Okay, S dot display. S dot display. S dot display. Right? S dot display. Now observe here, Python tester.py. If you observe here, constructor executed for initialization of instance variables. Next, student name, roll number, marks. Student name, roll number, and marks. Clear, right? So this is nothing but what a constructor execution. Okay, this is nothing but what a constructor execution. Clear? Observe carefully. I have taken one class inside constructor and one instance method, creating object and calling that method. Okay, for your clarity, I am going to write one more thing. S1 is equal to student of, okay, student of this name, comma 102, comma 100. Okay, next s dot display. Okay, s dot display. S dot display. S1 is equal to student. Okay, S1. Okay, S1 dot display. Print of star to 10. Now observe here, first object creation, calling that method. Second object creation and calling that method. Observe the output. Okay, this is one and this is second object. So this is first object and this is a second object. Clear? This is nothing but what a program to demonstrate on constructor. Okay, program to demonstrate on constructor. Clear? So today we discussed about the constructor. Constructor is a special method in Python. Should be declared as underscore underscore init underscore underscore. Constructor will be executed at the time of object creation. And the main purpose of constructor is to initialize instance variables. For object, constructor block will be executed only once. And the constructor can take at least one argument should be self. Constructor is always optional, and we are not, if we are not providing any constructor, pvm will provide default constructor. So just a small program with respect to constructor, and the second program will be demonstrating with respect to constructor and method. Okay, so this is what we discussed as part of in the today's session. Okay, in the next session I'm going to explain about the difference between method and constructor. Okay, if you observe here, I'm taking method and here I'm taking constructor. What is the difference between these two? Okay, what is the difference between these two? I will highlight in the next session. Clear? Thank you, friends. Thanks for watching this video. If you are watching my channel for the first time, please subscribe to my channel. Okay, thank you. Thanks all.